IELTS Speaking Part 2. Band 9. Describe an advertisement you don't like. You should say where and when you first saw it, what type of advertisement it is, what product or service it advertises, and explain why you don't like it. Total time: 2 minutes, 120 seconds. 1. Introduction, 0 to 15 seconds. State what the ad was and give a general impression. 2. When it happened, 15 to 35 seconds. Mention the time and your purpose for being there. 3. What it was and what it advertised, 35 to 65 seconds. Describe the type of ad and the product/service it promoted. 4. Why you don't like it, 65 to 95 seconds. Explain the reasons behind your dislike. 5. Reflection, 95 to 115 seconds. Reflect on the effectiveness and your personal response. 6. Conclusion, 115 to 120 seconds. Wrap up with a final thought. 1. Introduction, 0 to 15 seconds. State what the ad was and give a general impression. Suggested ideas. 1. Overexposed skincare ad, digital saturation, repetitive display, low credibility. 2. Negative impression, exaggerated claims, unrealistic beauty, emotional manipulation. 3. Initial reaction, annoyance, loss of trust, skeptical of intent. Academic vocabulary/collocations. Digital oversaturation, unrealistic representation, consumer mistrust. Example sentence. I'd like to describe a skincare advertisement that, due to digital oversaturation, not only presented an unrealistic representation of beauty, but also triggered consumer mistrust, as it appeared to exploit viewers' insecurities for profit. 2. When it happened, 15 to 35 seconds. Mention the time and your purpose for being there. Suggested ideas. 1. Time frame, early 2024, mid-semester break. Increased online activity. 2. Platform, YouTube, Instagram, streaming apps. 3. Purpose, watching educational content, relaxing music videos. Academic vocabulary/collocations. Passive media consumption. Targeted algorithmic exposure. Contextual irrelevance. Example sentence. It occurred in early 2024 when I was engaged in passive media consumption during a study break, and because of targeted algorithmic exposure, this skincare ad kept appearing in contexts where it felt contextually irrelevant. 3. What it was and what it advertised, 35 to 65 seconds. Describe the type of ad and the product/service it promoted. Suggested ideas. 1. Format, video ad with flashy visuals, dramatic narration, high contrast editing. 2. Content, anti-aging cream, miracle results, celebrity endorsements. 3. Techniques, fear of aging, unverified testimonials, idealized images. Academic vocabulary/collocations. Promotional exaggeration, emotional exploitation. Pseudoscientific endorsement. Example sentence. The video relied on promotional exaggeration and emotional exploitation, using pseudoscientific endorsements to convince viewers that the product could reverse aging within days, which seemed completely implausible. 4. Why you don't like it, 65 to 95 seconds. Explain the reasons behind your dislike. Suggested ideas. 1. Ethical concerns, manipulative messaging, false hopes, exploitation of self-esteem. 2. Design flaws, repetitive sound, jarring transitions, aggressive visuals. 3. Cultural damage, unrealistic standards, pressure to conform, cosmetic obsession. Academic vocabulary / collocations. Ethically questionable marketing. Visual fatigue. Psychological manipulation. Example sentence. I strongly disliked it because it employed ethically questionable marketing and caused visual fatigue through constant repetition, while its use of psychological manipulation undermined viewers' self-confidence by promoting unattainable ideals. 5. Reflection, 95 to 115 seconds. Reflect on the effectiveness and your personal response. Suggested ideas. 1. Lost trust, credibility questioned, stopped watching brand content, avoided purchases. 2. Broader insight, critical of digital ads, importance of media literacy, influence of aesthetics. 3. Personal outcome, selective engagement, skeptical viewer, mental boundary. Academic vocabulary / collocations. Advertising skepticism. Critical media awareness. Brand credibility erosion. Example sentence. That experience contributed to my growing advertising skepticism, and while it heightened my critical media awareness, it also led to a lasting brand credibility erosion, as I no longer trusted their messaging. 6. Conclusion, 115 to 120 seconds. Wrap up with a final thought. Suggested ideas. 1. Lasting impression, avoid brand. Remember frustration, value honesty. 2. Lesson learned, persuasive power of media. Need for scrutiny, protect mindset. 3. Future behavior, prefer authentic ads, support ethical brands, raise awareness. Academic vocabulary / collocations. Long-term consumer perception. Ethical advertising standards. Media discernment. Example sentence. In conclusion, that ad negatively shaped my long-term consumer perception, and it reinforced the value of ethical advertising standards and the necessity of media discernment in the digital age. Sample answer band 9. Describe an advertisement you don't like. One of the most disconcerting advertisements I've encountered was for a so-called miracle skincare cream that repeatedly appeared across my social media feeds. And I found the entire presentation to be both invasive and ethically questionable. Rather than engaging or persuasive, it came across as a calculated attempt to exploit consumer insecurities under the guise of beauty enhancement. I recall coming across this ad in early 2024 during a period when I was spending more time online due to an extended study break. I had been casually browsing educational content on YouTube, Yet this particular video kept interrupting my viewing experience with no relevance to what I was watching. Its algorithm-driven placement made it feel inescapable, which added to my growing frustration. The advertisement featured a well-known celebrity promoting an anti-aging cream, using overly dramatized imagery, manipulated before and after comparisons, and emotional storytelling to convince viewers of its alleged effectiveness. The ad claimed that visible age lines would disappear in under a week, a baseless and misleading assertion that immediately triggered my skepticism. What truly irritated me was the ad's tendency to promote unattainable standards, especially through its heavy use of retouched visuals and pseudoscientific jargon. It didn't offer any credible evidence or disclose the product's ingredients, yet it relied on emotional manipulation to drive urgency, creating a false sense of transformation within the viewer's mind. Instead of feeling informed or curious, I felt deceived and even somewhat insulted. The repetitive exposure to such content eroded my trust in digital marketing and made me much more critical of similar ads. It also led me to question the psychological implications of constantly being shown unrealistic ideals, especially on platforms frequented by young, impressionable audiences. Ultimately, this encounter reshaped how I engage with online advertising. I've developed a stronger sense of media literacy and tend to support brands that prioritize authenticity over sensationalism. Although the ad failed to sell me the product, it succeeded in highlighting the urgent need for ethical standards in advertising and more transparent brand communication. Teaching moment. Vocabulary highlights. Disconcerting advertisement, consumer insecurities, algorithm-driven placement, overly dramatized imagery, misleading assertion, unattainable standards, psychological implications, ethical standards in advertising. Grammar insights. Complex and compound sentences enhance fluency and depth of thought. For example, rather than engaging or persuasive, it came across as a calculated attempt to exploit consumer insecurities under the guise of beauty enhancement. Nominalization and abstract nouns improve lexical sophistication. For example, the repetitive exposure to such content eroded my trust in digital marketing and made me much more critical of similar ads. Advanced clause connectors and contrast structures emphasize evaluation. For example, although the ad failed to sell me the product, it succeeded in highlighting the urgent need for ethical standards in advertising. IELTS tips. Critical evaluation. This answer doesn't simply describe the ad. It evaluates its impact on the viewer's psychology, its persuasive intent, and the wider implications for media ethics. High-level ideas like psychological implications and algorithm-driven placement reflect strong analytical thinking, which examiners reward at Band 9. To reach Band 9, this response includes a rich and varied vocabulary with zero repetition, a formal evaluative tone appropriate to academic and professional discussion, a cohesive structure with cause-effect logic, abstract reasoning, and reflective insight, Use of advanced conjunctions and non-literal phrasing for sophistication, for example, under the guise of highlighting the need for, reshaped how I engage. 50 academic collocations. 1 disconcerting advertisement, an ad that causes discomfort or unease. 2 consumer insecurities, feelings of inadequacy that advertisers target. 3 ethically questionable content, material that may violate moral standards. 4 calculated attempt, a planned and intentional effort. 5 beauty enhancement industry, the market for improving physical appearance. 6 algorithm-driven placement, ads shown based on viewer behavior. 7 viewing experience, how enjoyable or smooth it is to watch something. 8 emotional storytelling, a narrative that appeals to feelings. 9 celebrity endorsement, a famous person promoting a product. 10 overly dramatized imagery, pictures that exaggerate reality. 11 manipulated visuals, edited or altered pictures or videos. 12 pseudoscientific claims, statements that seem scientific but aren't. 13 baseless assertion, a claim with no real proof. 14 unrealistic promises, claims that are impossible to achieve. 15 unattainable standards, goals that can't be realistically met. 16 retouched images, photos edited to remove flaws. 17 consumer trust, belief that a company is reliable. 18 deceptive marketing, advertising that misleads people. 19 product transparency, clear and honest information about an item. 20 psychological manipulation, controlling how people think or feel. 21 false transformation, a change that isn't genuine or real. 22 visual exaggeration, images that overstate effects or outcomes. 23 media exposure, how much someone sees content online. 24 digital saturation, overload of online content or ads. 25 repetitive content, material that shows up too frequently. 26 targeted advertising, ads aimed at a specific audience. 27 viewer fatigue, tiredness from watching too much content. 28 ad intrusion, an ad interrupting without permission. 29 distracting placement, an ad located where it breaks focus. 30 visual manipulation, changing visuals to deceive or persuade. 31 misinformation tactics, spreading false facts to influence people. 32 ethical concerns, worries about right and wrong behavior. 33 brand responsibility, the duty of a brand to act properly. 34 public backlash, strong negative response from the public. 35 advertising credibility, how believable or trustworthy an ad is. 36 consumer skepticism, doubt from customers about product claims. 37 emotional exploitation, using feelings to manipulate choices. 38 marketing ethics, the moral rules for advertising practices. 39 brand image, the public's view of a brand. 40 social influence strategy, a method to change public opinion. 41 visual persuasion, using images to convince someone. 42 cognitive response, how someone mentally reacts to something. 43. Advertising fatigue, boredom, or frustration from too many ads. 44. Visual overload, too many images at once to process. 45. Cultural stereotypes, oversimplified ideas about certain groups. 46. Audience manipulation, influencing viewers unfairly. 47. Commercial dishonesty, lying in order to sell something. 48. Viewer perception, how an audience interprets content. 49. Ethical standards in advertising, moral principles for ad content. 50. Transparent brand communication, clear, honest messaging from companies.